Okay, here we are at middle C, and here we are at G4, and then here's F3. So again, we went from G4 down to F, E, D. This is the bottom of the treble clef, that note hanging underneath the treble clef. Here's middle C, the ledger line below the treble clef, and then here's that B with a ledger line below the treble clef. Now here is F on the bass clef, going up to G, A, B is the top of the bass clef. One ledger line above the bass clef is middle C, and then a note above the ledger line is this D. So you can see these three notes are in between the treble clef and the bass clef. So we can put all of this together into one clef that's basically taking the treble clef and the bass clef and considering them as a whole. Essentially that 11-line clef, but keeping this space here. And that's called the grand staff. So let's clean this up a little bit here and recap how that works. So you're essentially taking your treble clef, your bass clef, and you put one long line next to them, and then this thing that's called a brace, which says and tells the musician, I need to look at these as being together. Now, who uses this? Piano players. This is the staff for piano players, the grand staff, combining these two. And the reason why is that it essentially breaks down to, as I said, middle C is like my home position if I was learning typing skills. That's my home position, is middle C. And treble clef essentially represents everything for my right hand going up high. Bass clef represents essentially everything for my left hand going down into the lower range. So remember what this means is I have G here is G4, then I have middle C, C4, literally in the middle. You never ever write it this way, okay? This is just for illustration purposes. And then F3 here. And that sets up my high range for my right hand, my low range for my left hand, and then there's going to be overlap, okay? So that's essentially how the grand staff works for piano players, and this gives us a maximum amount of range to cover what the piano can play.